Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Hyper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free to the 25, to the 30, to the outside. 40, midfield. 40, 30 in the coast. 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, man. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you watch this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, baby. What's wrong with you? You got to keep up with the Joneses and them. All right? So you go to wherever you get your apps from. And it doesn't matter whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven, Zare, or Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Weebolts, Goldblatt's. It doesn't matter where you get it from. You just go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. Take this with you on the go, so not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby, and if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor, download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put us there next to the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Apple Plus, HBO Max, Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Oh, man. Woo, Charlie's Raising Kanan on Stars was crazy this weekend. Oh, my God. Wow. But I digress. Put us there next to the big boys. You can watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right? Mickey, Vicky, now. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's C-H-I. Sports Zone Shy, C-H-I. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally, and I want to know what I did, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. We got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform, and it'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because the chat is jumping like crazy this morning. Cornelius Squalls, what up, what up, what up, sports owners? Black Diamond checking in early. It's like top of the morning. Jet Hoyer, get off your ass and go get Sandy Alcantara. All right. Woo-hoo. Cub fans getting fired up this morning. Levette Lee says, happy Cinco de Mayo, y'all. Yeah. Oh, so Black Diamond said, wish your boy a happy 45th on Wednesday. So Remind me on Wednesday, Black Diamond, but I will definitely remind you. I wish you a happy birthday then. 45. All right, MJ. MJ with the comeback, 45. Nice. Mr. Shorty is in the house. Top of the morning to you. But Shawn Wall says, what's up on a Cinco de Mayo? Taco, baby. Tacos today, baby. Tacos. So Taco Monday, Taco Tuesday, Taco Wednesday, Taco Thursday. Excuse me. Darn Shorty is here. Lee says, what's up, Shawn? And it's not about a lot, but I do know there's more of the usual suspects who will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Listen, we got a great show, and we're getting started early today. All right, 9:30 at the bottom of the hour, we have my man Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs going to call in. And we got enough of you people in here, so fine, we'll get one of your people. He's going to come in and talk Cubs with us. He was up in Milwaukee over the weekend covering the Cubs. Cubs were in first place. Lead baseball in runs scored. I think runs scored, home runs, and they're right at the top, if not leading in stolen bases. So you got guys, the Cubs are getting guys on. They get them on, get them over, get them in. They don't play around. All right? They're not playing around. And, they're playing good baseball. Kyle Tucker is having a phenomenal season. PCA is having a phenomenal season. So we're going to talk to Eugene McIntosh about his Cubs. I don't know how he's a Cub fan, man. He's a South Sider. Went to Mount Carmel. Still a Cub fan. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, here you go. Black Diamonds. Shit already. It's good to be king. Uneasy is the head. Remember that. Uneasy is the head that wears the crown. Remember that. Steve said Eugene McIntosh is a Cub fan because he had good parents. That's funny. Good stuff. Good stuff. But that's at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, my man Damani Pugh from the SmokeFellas is going to join us, and we're going to talk NBA playoffs. Man, if you missed those games last night, woo, Charlie. Man, oh man, oh man. Those games were crazy. And then we're going to talk a little Bears with Damani as well. All right. And I'll tell you what, I was fired up. So I got some errands done in the morning. I went to La Garra, the flea market. Got some stuff, just some little stuff. I came home. Did a lot more domestic stuff this weekend. Did most of the laundry. We had a shitload of dishes, cleaned up the kitchen. So, man, it was crazy. So last night I was able to sit down and watch sports. Watch from the couch, and man, was it awesome. After all the stuff I did, it was Charlie. Let me tell you that won in round 2 of the Indiana Pacers, and oh goodness, the Pacers. Who are they playing? Cavs. Pacers. Cavs. That was crazy. The Cavs were the number 1 seed. They were at home. We'll talk about that. And then Game 7. Those are the best 2 words in all of sports. Game 7. The Golden State Warriors on the road in H-Town to take on the Houston Rockets. And we're going to talk about that as well with Damani. And then what games are going on today? Tell you what, it is, Charlie, it is a day. NBA is on fire. All right, round 2 starts today. Knicks at Celtics, Nuggets at Thunder. So What a day. So make sure 9:30 at the bottom of the hour, we have Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs is going to join us talking Cubs baseball. And then at 10 o'clock at the top of the hour, my man Damani Pugh from the SmokeFellas, which air here on Sports Zone Chicago every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. He's going to come on and talk NBA playoffs and a little bit of Bears with us. I do want to wish everyone a happy Cinco de Mayo. Okay. And just FYI, no, it is not Mexican Independence Day. Many people are confused. Oh, it is one of the 2 weekends, though, that Canelo fights. He usually fights twice a week. One Cinco de Mayo weekend and the other Mexican Independence Day. So those are the two. Hey, easy there, Black Diamond. All right, we laid the smack down on their candy ass, and you lost to them yesterday, so don't worry about it. Oh, man. Yeah, so Cinco de Mayo is a holiday. It was because it's called the Battle of Puebla. All right, it was one of the key battles for Mexico to gain its independence. It wasn't the reason they won it, but it was a key one, and that it was kind of the turning point of the war. And they defeated the French. Okay, so yeah, it's not Mexican Independence Day. It's just the signal where they a turning point in the war toward Mexican independence. All right. Well, let's get it cracking, baby. Again, 9:30 at the bottom of the hour. Eugene McIntosh at 10 o'clock. My man Damani Pugh. And we got a lot to talk. Well, we got to get into it, baby. We got to move. Guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go. Let's see which way do we go. Which way do we go? First top of the morning topic. Yeah, let's get it cracking. Get it cracking with some winners. That's what I'm talking about, baby. The White Sox. Woo! The good guys from the South Side. That's what I'm talking about, the White Sox. They beat the Houston Astros 5-4 yesterday in a rain-shortened 7 innings. Sox were down 4-1. No, they were down 4-0, and they came back and scored 5 unanswered runs. I'll tell you what. This team showed resilience, and in a hastily kind of way. They're pushed up against the weather, the elements. It started raining. They were down 4-0. They got on the board 4-1. Then they hit a double. Bases loaded single was 4-3. All right. Luau tied it at 4-4. All right. And then Guerrero 5-4. And then they went. It was great. They went to the end of the inning. They started at the top of the next inning, but rain came. Sox won. Took their second series of the season. Bryce Wilson, he got the start. He got a no decision. All right, he went 4 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 punch outs. As I said, Lewis Robert 2 for 3 in RBI. The game tying RBI, his 15th of the season. Edgar Guerrero, he's 2 for 4 with the game winning RBI, his 8th of the season. Lenin Sosa was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs, his 9th and 10th RBIs of the season. Today, the next top of the morning topic, the Sox travel to KC to face the Royals. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. The probables for today's game for the White Sox on the bump is Shane Smith, who's having a very good start to his year. He's 1-1 with a 2.23 ERA going up against Cole Reagans for the Royals, who's 1-1 with a 4.40 ERA. Next top of the morning topic, baby. Cubs get shut out by the Brew Crew up in Brewtown, 4-0. Shota Imanaga got the start. He got the loss. So you talk adding injury to insult. He got the loss. He's 3-2 on the season. He went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 punch outs. The 2 earned runs came in not of his doing. He was covering first. We'll talk about this and what impact it's going to have. But he was covering first and excuse me, he was covering first and strained his hamstring. And the bullpen came in and gave up those 2 runs. Kyle Tucker, 2 for 3. PCA, 1 for 3. Ian Happ was 1 for 4. Keeping it moving. The next topic today, the Cubs. They host the San Francisco Giants at Wrigley Field. First pitch tonight is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. The probables for today's game for San Francisco, Landon Raup, who's 2-2 with a 5.10 ERA, going up against Matthew Boyd for the Northsiders. He's 2-2 with a 2.70 ERA. Cubs couldn't get the sweep yesterday. And were actually shut out, as you see. But I'll tell you what, it was good series. Okay, you keep winning series, and that's all you want. Okay, as a baseball team, that's all. And I'll tell you what, yeah, you want to close out the sweep. When you win the first 2 games of a series, you want to get that sweep. Okay, if you don't, it sucks. However, you won the series, and that's the most important thing. You won the war. 2 out of 3 is the most important thing you got to get. You continue to go 2 out of 3, man, that's 5-10. That's 10-20. That's 15-30. That's 20-40, or 40-20. That's 50-25. That's 70-35. All of a sudden, you're doubling your wins, and you add up your win total rises quickly. And you don't have some great, long, elaborate win streak, but you just keep getting the job done. You just win series after series after series. And I think the Cubs are doing a great job, and I got to tip my hat to Craig Counsell. He's got these guys playing phenomenal baseball. He's got them playing unselfish baseball. He's got them playing team baseball, selfless baseball. He's got them playing fundamentally sound baseball. And he's got to believe it in themselves. I've said this a couple times on here. You know, it pains me to say it, but I got to keep it a buck. I'll keep it a buck. Cubs are looking good. But unfortunately, you know, Shota leaves with the apparent hamstring injury. You saw him reach after he was covering first. He reached and grabbed that hamstring. And you know it's going to be a while. Easily 2 weeks. So maybe 3 starts for Shota. All right. And here's the issue that we have. That you have, Cub fans. I don't have it. Excuse me. Issue that the Cubs have now is that they are out 2 starters. What do the Cubs do without Shota and Justin Steele? Justin Steele's out with elbow surgery. Okay. He's top of the order. He might be probably number 2. And then Shota was definitely your ace. He's number 1. You're out with him. You're out with him or he's out for a while. What do you do? What do you do? All right, there's a lot of, 3 starts, that's 10 games, 15 games. Rick Gonzalez is hilarious. The Black Diamond is on some mess this morning. Tell him, Shawn. Rick Gonzalez says, it's all good, Black Diamond. By 2034, the Sox should have their shit. Hopefully. That'll be rebuild 5.0. Yes, Michonne. Sox took 2 of 3 from the trash throws. As I said, it's their second series win of the season, which is great to see. Yeah. King Book of World checking in. He's like, salute. Cornelius, Black Diamond, Shawn Levette, Rick, Junior Shorty. Salute everybody, and Shawn. Appreciate it, Black Diamond. King Book of World. Who else? Shorty says, good morning to all. I'm in a meeting again, but I have you on, Shawn. I appreciate it. My man, Junior Armando Emeterio Lara. Junior is in the house. He's like, I still get a kick out of the Musclehead Brewers fan who caught PC's home run and was swearing. He looked like one of the kids I grew up with on the South Side. He cut off the sleeves of his shirt. He cut the sides of the shirt off, basically. Had a Brewer shirt on, had the hat on. He threw the home run back and was like, ah! That was classic, dude. That was classic. That made my day, just watching that dude. Watching that dude get frustrated. So can we call it Wrigley North again or what? Because for a while it was Wrigley North, and then it became Millers Park South. Wrigley Field became Millers Park South, if you remember. Brewers started having their way for a little bit. Remember when Christian Yelich and Javi were going at it for the MVP? The one that Christian Yelich just ran away with? No disrespect to Javi. He didn't lose it. Christian Yelich just won it. Black Diamond says it still is. Wrigley North. No, you know what's crazy? They're yelling. And this is a testament to your Cub fans. All right? Testament to you scrub fans. Man, you went up there in masses over the weekend. In masses, you guys were up in a caravan you roll out. Oh, my goodness. Because all you heard people chatting PCA in Milwaukee. They're chanting what are they chanting? MVP? What are they chanting? PCA. He got a huge, huge ovation. You could hear it. The crowd, because so many Cub fans were up there. I know a good buddy of mine, one of my former coaching colleagues, him and his two sons were up there. They posted on Facebook. A couple other people I knew as well posted on Facebook that they were up there. Excuse me. So there was a lot of you up there. And that's a great place. You get to a little further than, coming south to tailgate, but you get to tailgate over there outside before the game. Yes, he does. Rick says, when I went to the Cubs opener, I was shocked at all the Rizzo jerseys. He still plays for New York, right? Yes, he does. I laugh even harder, but last time I went to the Sox game last year, because I haven't gone this year yet, I saw a couple Sale jerseys. Chris Sale jerseys. Like, my man has moved on and won a World Series. He's long gone. And the people we got for him in that trade, they're gone too. That's a damn shame. Hurts just ouch. Not only is Chris Sale gone, but everyone we got for Chris Sale is gone too. That was something. But so what do you got? What are you Cubs going to do? I mean, you got helping the minors. All right, you got top pitching prospect Cade Horton. All right, he has a 1.17 ERA in AAA this season. Is he an option? I think he should be. Rick says, I got throwbacks, but not when the player is still in the league. No, you didn't, King Booker World. Shut the front door. He's like, I saw Blackjack McDowell jersey last time I went. He's like, call Horton up. My man Jason says, I'm wearing my Bo Jackson, Tim Anderson, and Tank Thomas jerseys from now on. You see, this is why I don't get anyone's jersey. Oh, and Harold Baines. Jason, Harold is my favorite White Sox of all time. Harold Baines and then Ozzie Guillen in that order. Harold Baines. When I interviewed him, I swear to God, I felt like a fanboy. When I finally got to interview him, oh my goodness. Love Harold Baines. Love Harold Baines. But I get all my Sox jerseys, they're all customized. Sierra 33 on the back. And I just placed the order. I should have it. So I'm going June 5th. June 5th is they're having Mexican Heritage Night at Sox Park. So I should have the new jersey in, but I have like 7 Sox jerseys. And they're all customized. Sierra 33 on the back. Yeah, I'm not getting anybody else's jersey. Only person's jersey that I would get for the White Sox would be Harold or Ozzie. It would have to be the 1983 jersey. Those are the only ones I would get without my name on it. No. I don't even know half these mugs. Rick says, growing up in the 80s, how could you not love Harold? Dude, he was awesome. Right fielder. I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I'll take it. I'll take it. That's something that's crazy, man. You know, I was excited. And how many of you I'll tell you what, Chuck Garfien and Ozzie were talking, and Chuck said it on the post game Friday night after they won the opening game of the series. He said in the post game, he goes in the pregame, I said that these would pop, or before the pregame, he said these would pop on camera, the red, and oh boy, did they! Whoo, Charlie, did those things look dope? Any of you guys Did you guys like those red jerseys, the ones we talked about? We showed last week, the New City Connect ones. This one. I like this with the hat. I like the black hat, though. And here's Lou Bob coming around in his jersey after he parked one. I think he parked one Friday. That's when it was. These things look dope. I tell you, King Booker Wilson is going to have to grab one. Hey. Told you, I got a guy. He come from China. But it takes a couple weeks. This way, Jerry Reinsdorf and Major League Baseball don't get any of the money. I love it. That's funny, Junior. They bring back the White Sox wearing shorts. Remember that was in the 70s. Bill Veeck. It was a publicity stunt. Well, yeah, it is the Bulls. If you notice on the jersey at the bottom, or the tag it has a Sox Cub, the collabo, because he obviously owns both teams. So I think they're fly. I think they're dope. And I'm telling you, some people say, well, it looks like a softball uniform. I'm like, that's what's dope about it. I mean, 16-inch softball was, growing up when I grew up, 16-inch softball was it. You go to the park and watch your uncles play, and any brothers and sisters. All my cousins are mostly around my age. So we go see my uncle play, and it did look like Southside jerseys, like Harrison Park. They were dope. Those were dope. But I love them. Jason doesn't like, says no win up out of me. No los toros unis. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Hey, King Book of World, let me know. I told you I got a guy. I can plug you up. All right, and they won't get. But anyway, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, my man Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs is gonna join us. We're gonna talk Cubs baseball. See, Cub fans, you know I give you shit all the time about the Cubs suck and you suck. I said that to my friend. I said, you guys suck. I know you're in first place and lead the top of almost all offensive categories, but you still suck. The guy was pissed. He was like, "Oh, okay." He thought I was serious, but I was like, "Yeah, you guys are playing good." We're gonna talk some Cubs baseball with my man Eugene, who was up in Brewtown. Hope he didn't get too messed up drinking all that beer up there. But anyway, the beer and brats. Okay, keep it locked right here, guys. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. Yeah, I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Rips it up the middle for a base hit. For more on Dansby Swanson, Taylor McGregor, what's up?
Good pitch. Yeah, real good pitch. Off-speed pitch, and that brings me to my next point. So, League Baseball, you're featuring that pitch. Can you give us a little primer on the kick change?
Tucker into right. Leadoff single. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Shota is dealing. 1-2-3 in. Tucker, multi-hit game.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those are the Cubs. Across the Cheddar Curtain up in Milwaukee and Brewtown. Could not get the sweep done. Could not complete it. They fall to the Brew Crew 4-0. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they did. You know why? Because they won the series. Keep winning series. Your win total jumps quickly. And that's all you want. You want 2 out of 3. But again, when you win the first 2, you always want to try and close it out because that sends a message later down the road to a team. Like, okay, they had the chance to sweep us, and they did. They didn't take their foot off our throats. Okay, and they understand, the teams understand they're going to be in a fight. Okay, but again, you won 2 out of 3. Congrats. All right. Well, listen, my next guest, good friend of the program. He's from the Bigs Media. Man, excited to talk to him. Former college baseball player. You can find him on Twitter at Stay Humble. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, Eugene McIntosh. Gino, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Shawn, what's up, brothers? Long time no see, long time no hear, man. What's the word?
Man, I got to say, your Cubs suck. Even though in first place and leading a whole lot of offensive categories, they still suck. Would you tell them to stop playing? Hey, tell them to stop playing fundamentally sound baseball and stealing bases and moving guys over and hitting the cutoff man. Stop that shit.
Hey, man, this is right up Jed Hoyer's alley, man. I'm surprised at what I'm seeing so far. Like you said, them being able to win a bunch of different ways in this small sample size of a season. Like I said in the videos that I posted on Instagram and my Instagram stories after Saturday's win, I don't know how sustainable this offensive onslaught is, but we'll see how it pans out through 162. I tell you right now, there is no luck in 162. So far, so good from the offense, man, especially in this 2025 season where the heat is on. Jed Hoyer's contract year and, you know, Kyle Tucker and just a bunch of things going on around the organization that is putting the pressure on these guys right now. So far, so good, man.
Yeah, but it can be sustainable because they don't just win with the home run. I know they're up there in home runs, they're up there in runs scored, but they'll drop a bunt here and there. They did fundamentally sound baseball, and that's the reason that they're fun to watch. Is they will drop a bunt, they'll move people over, they'll get the ball to the right side. They're playing good baseball, and that has to go directly in the left, falls in the lap. If criticism is going to fall in the lap of the manager, this has to fall in the lap of the manager too, because now Cubs opponents are like, well, damn, yeah, they got Swanson, they got Kyle Tucker, they got Ian Happ, they got they got guys who can knock it out, but they also got guys who can run the bases like a son of a gun as they lead the majors in stolen bases. So they're not just winning with the long ball, they're winning a whole bunch of ways, and it puts a lot of pressure on teams who don't really practice throwing people out or bunts and things like that. They can win a lot of different ways, and that's what they're doing to keep themselves atop the NL Central.
No, that's real. You're 100% right. But like I said, it's a small sample size, and I didn't mean sustainable as far as the way they're winning games, but I just meant the offense in general as a whole, especially scoring 6-7 runs a game. I don't think that's going to hold up. But I do agree with you, and you have to give Craig Counsell credit. Going back to last year, you know, it was his rookie year. It was his first year in Chicago. He was kind of feeling things out, seeing which way, you know, he wanted things to run. And now that he's back for his sophomore season, you know, he's got a couple guys that he's familiar with on his coaching staff, and I think that plays a part too, as well as bringing a guy like Kyle Tucker in, whose baseball card doesn't lie, who's obviously taking the pressure off of a guy like Seiya Suzuki, where Seiya can just sit, you know, zone in and do his thing, and then it's trickled down through the lineup where you see, Dansby Swanson's hitting about 218, 219 right now, but there are 3 guys on the team tied for the leading home runs with 9. So we see PCA, you know, the attack he's on. Craig, we talked to Craig post game Saturday about PCA, and he said, "Well, look, man, I'm not, I'm not really into predicting his future about whether he's going to be a superstar or not. But what I can tell you is he's producing at an all-star level, no doubt, right now, and he's got everybody in the clubhouse, you know, riding his coattail. And, you know, people were asking about him, about his showmanship, and if Craig thought that he, you know, got a little ahead of himself sometimes. And Craig said, and it was coming from Craig Counsell, this is big. He said, absolutely not. He said, I want PCA to be that spark. I want him to be flashy. I want him to be flamboyant. But if we do think that he's getting a little bit ahead of himself, he's got the guys in the locker room that will wheel him back in. Jamison Tyon said the same thing when he was speaking during the game yesterday about just PCA being this spark, being this big electric shock around the clubhouse. And, you know, it's been so far so good for him. I know you guys heard about the 4-year, $75 million extension that they offered him. But I'll tell you this much. Hey, this is a Shawn and Maya exclusive right here from the Bigs. PCA said, no way. We looking at 4 years. I'm betting on myself, and we looking at 4 years, 162. That will take him into 27 years old, and then, you know, that's when most guys sign those long-term contracts. So if PCA can continue this output right now, that 4-year, 162, whether it's from the Cubs or not, because you know the Padres, the Yankees, the Dodgers, them guys will jump off the porch for something that they think would be beneficial for them. They don't care about the money because they're gonna make it back one way or the other. But if Tom Ricketts wants to stop being looked at as a cheapskate by the fan base, I don't necessarily think he's a cheapskate. I know business and I know how it works. But if Tom Ricketts wants to get the fan base on his side, you got to try to get out there and sign Kyle Tucker, and you got to give PCA what he wants.
PCA is having a great year. Not only one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball, but he gets on. He's leading with 9. Doesn't he have 9 home runs as well? I mean, this kid. And what's really interesting is that he went on this tear right after he turned down that $75 million deal. Right after he turned that down, he went. He's like, he goes, all right, I got to work. Cue up Kumo D. I go to work. You know what I mean?
Work. Yeah.
I mean, Big Daddy Kane. Excuse me. You got to get.
Oh
that
yeah. Excuse us.
Yeah. And you got because he has been, and he's been a terror on the base paths. He's his power and again his speed. So he's looking for 160, possibly 162. What are the Cubs going to do? Because you want to sign Tucker because Tucker's if he continues this, his all because he'll be in the MVP conversation at the end of the season if he continues the track he's on. This is going to be compared to Chris Bryant's 2016 MVP season, and you're going to have to sign. We're starting at minimum at $500 million with this guy. You guys are going to have to start. Do you think the Cubs would be willing to sign PCA and Tucker? Because Tucker's doing it, boy. He is doing it. He's living up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Ricketts has to open that checkbook if he. I mean, look at the potential. And these. Look, Kyle Tucker's still a young guy. Like we know what he did in Houston, but that was a small sample size, man. Kyle Tucker is still he hasn't really reached his prime yet. So you're talking about two guys that one is in his early 20s, one is in his mid to late 20s. These guys can carry your franchise for the next 7, 8, however many years you want to sign them. So I'm with you, man. I think Kyle Tucker's definitely, if he continues this way, which, like I said, his baseball card doesn't lie. So he's definitely going to be 450 to 500 million, especially after Vlad Jr. got his 500. There's no reason why Kyle Tucker should settle for anything less. But the biggest thing is, does Kyle Tucker want to be here? And we hear about a lot of guys. If you go around the league, there are a lot of guys. They'll tell you there's nothing like playing Major League Baseball in Wrigley Field in the Chicago summer. And I can tell you, you know how it is up there, Shawn. It's electric. I've been to 3/4 of the stadiums around the MLB in the summertime, and I haven't seen anything like Wrigley in the summer. So I do agree with that. But the number one question is, does Kyle Tucker really want to be here in Chicago? And at the end of the day, the highest bidder usually wins, and that's usually going to be the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres. So like I said, if Tom Ricketts, if he wants to be etched in stone and move up, into the fan base's graces, he's going to have to open that pocketbook. And I think right now, he's seeing the fruits of his labor. We know he spent $1 billion going Wrigleyville. I call it Rickettsville. We know what's going on around there. And he's seeing the fruits of his labor. So I think right now it's time to drop the hammer. You lay it down on Kyle Tucker right now. You bring him in. Right now, I don't think he shouldn't even be talking. He should go and test the free agent waters. There's no reason for him to sign the extension. Now, go out there and test the waters and see what you got. But Tom Ricketts should definitely open that pocketbook if Kyle Tucker wants to be here. These are, like you said, him and PCA, two left-handed guys, in fact, that can take this franchise to new heights, man, in the future.
Man, I'll tell you what, to be a Cub fan is pretty exciting right now. And you know, the one thing that they don't quit. All right. You know, they just don't, they're down X amount of runs. It doesn't matter. All right. It doesn't matter. They just feel with the power that they have in that lineup, they just feel they can come back at any time. And again, not just the power, you get them on, get them over, get them in. I mean, you need to score a run. Cool. You drag bunt, get a guy on, he'll steal second, base hit or pop a ground ball to the right side, gets them over to third. And I mean, they're doing a lot of fundamentally sound baseball, which I love. There's nothing like good baseball. Everyone loves the home run, the long ball, like the commercial back in the day. But there's nothing wrong. And I love seeing guys win the old-fashioned way when it puts pressure on the defense. And that's what you're doing. That's what the Cubs are doing. They're putting pressure on the defense, stealing bases, getting guys over, and that's fun baseball to watch. Which is why I think it's sustainable. All right, you can bunting will go everywhere. Hitting home runs might not. You might hit a pitcher who's on. But man, you could bunt and get them on, get them over, get them in. So you guys are in a good situation right now atop the NL Central. But one of the situations that you got to face is now you just lost your top two starters. Justin Steele was out with an elbow injury, elbow surgery. He'll be out for the year. And then Shota yesterday. What do the Cubs do right now? Do you call up Cade Horton because you got two spots that you need right now because he's at a 1.18 ERA down in AAA. What do the Cubs do while these two guys are out?
I think there's only one move you can do, and that's to bring Cade Horton up, man. I think at this point in the season, you don't see too many teams trying to make trades before Memorial Day. At least, you know, if you do that, you basically, especially for your main guys, you're basically telling the fan base that we gave up for this season. You really don't want to do that. So I don't see them making any trades right now. So the only thing you can do is bring Cade Horton up. He's been killed. What do you have the farm for? What do you have those guys down there for? You know the saying, Shawn, what better time than now? Like you said, below 1.20 ERA, he's been dominating down there. I talked to a couple of my friends yesterday that were asking me the same question. And I'm like, hey, man, you can't be worried about his confidence being shot if he comes up here and he doesn't succeed. That's part of the game. You send him back down and then let him get his mind right. But as of right now, I think there's only one move, and that's to bring Cade Horton up. You got a guy like Colin Ray who's been lights out, who's exceeded expectations so far this season. So continue to ride that. You got J-Mo, who's outside of his first start, you know, his ERA is up around 3.85 or something like that. But I think that's very misleading. His first start kind of boosted that, but he's been lights out as well. And, you know, hopefully you can get Jordan Wicks and a couple of those other guys back off the IL soon. We know Justin Steele is gone for the season. We'll see about Shota. I think Shota it'll be a short stint. Maybe he might not have to make an IL stint. If he does, it'll probably be a 10, 15 day. He said it wasn't his hamstring. He said it was the front of his thigh, which is, you know, that's a good sign just from hearing that. So, like I said, I think the only thing you can do right now is to bring up Cade Horton, throw him in the fire, let him get his feet wet and see how he does, and don't worry about, you know, him losing his confidence, man. It's the big boy league.
Yeah, it's interesting because he grabbed his hamstring right away yesterday. Why he would say the front, you know, or maybe something lost in translation because, hey, you and I are both athletes. You know when that hamstring goes, you grab the back of that leg. We know what it is. We know 100%. What it is.
Yeah.
So interesting that he said that you know through his interpreter, but and I hopefully because he said he didn't feel anything pop, so I'm thinking maybe 2 starts. That's what 10 days, maybe 3, so 15 days or so.
Yeah.
Got to give it a nice 2 weeks of rehab, and if it's just strained and not pulled, you can come back in 2 weeks. Believe me, I had plenty of hamstring strains in my long career. So I know there's a lot to do with, and so that'll only give you 2 weeks. But what about this whole situation? A lot of people are talking about third base. Third base is, you know, we need a guy. What's your thoughts? And I know Shaw's is lighting it up down there right now. But what do you want to do with third base? Are you concerned with the third base position not getting any production, any power out of that spot, or what?
100% concerned about the third base musical chair / open door policy over there. I wrote about it in my piece maybe about a week ago. The Cubs, they're exceeding expectations, but they definitely have a few holes that you can't ignore. And the top of my list was the musical chairs at third base. And hey, man, I know Craig Counsell knows 1,000 times more baseball than I do, so I'm going to believe in him and I'm going to let him work his number. He said what we're going to do is use a bunch of guys over there. Birdie's been okay over there. I feel like Nicky Lopez is probably the best defender over there. He had a really good game Friday at third base in Milwaukee. You know, you'll see Brujan over there a little bit. But at this point, you don't just go out and get a third baseman. And we talked to Jed Hoyer when Matt Shaw went down that first couple of days after they sent Shaw back down. And he said, we're depending on Matt Shaw to come back and hold this third base spot down. So, you know, I think it was just not, I wouldn't necessarily call it a reality check for Matt Shaw, but, you know, it's the big leagues again, man. And I talked to Matt opening day at Wrigley Field, and I was just asking him how everything was going, you know, how was it in Japan, and, you know, starting on the road. And, you know, he said, hey, man, I wasn't really it wasn't overwhelming for me. I just looked at it as another day of baseball. And, you know, that's cool to say, but when you get up in those big leagues and you see that amazing crowd in Japan, it has to be overwhelming. You have to kind of take a step back and realize what's going on. This ain't little boy ball no more. This ain't AAA. This ain't riding around taking the bus city to city, staying in those motels, man. You with the big boys now. So I think it kind of shocked Matt Shaw, and we could see, you know, he committed 3 or 4 errors, hitting like 172 or something like that. So I think the best thing for him was to go back down, get some more reps down there, and then come back with his head in a different place, with a different mindset, come back attacking. And, you know, that's one of their prized possessions. That was their number 1 prospect down there. So you have to believe in him. You can't just give up on him right now. But for now, like Craig Counsell said, it's going to be a revolving door over there. I feel like Birdie, since I think Nicky Lopez has the most experience in years, but I think Birdie is probably the best bet as an everyday third baseman with, you know, offensively and defensively. So I'm interested to see how Craig Counsell continues to manipulate that lineup, especially at third base. But they've done a good job so far. I can't even trip.
Guys, we're joined by Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs Media, talking Cubs baseball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. What would you think of them just getting the best defensive third baseman? Because that's usually a power spot, third baseman, and it's traditionally center field is really not a power spot. But you're getting a hell of a lot of power from that joker, that man. And so if you at least get a defensive third baseman, okay, and PCA continues to do what he's doing, could that kind of offset? And then you're still not getting the errors from the third base position that you were getting early on. Would that be something that you think the Cubs might consider?
I think that's what they're considering right now. That's why Craig said you're going to see a few guys, you know, in and out of the lineup. And again, I think Nicky Lopez is probably the best bet defensively, but I think John Birdie is probably the best bet offensively. So depending on, you know, there's a bunch of scouting reports. You know how big that scouting report is. So depending on the pitching matchup, you'll see Craig Counsell be able to kind of finesse that third base situation. I heard a couple people talking about the Cubs should go out and get Nolan Arenado from St. Louis. You know, Nolan is one of my favorite guys of all time, but I do not think the Cardinals are going to trade within the division. But that would be good. He's been pretty good this year in St. Louis after a couple down seasons over there. But you don't just go out and get a third baseman right now. And I think what the bigger picture is, look around Major League Baseball. Third base has been an issue. There are not that many good third basemen out there in Major League Baseball. So again, I think Jed Hoyer is right. You kind of got to rely on Matt Shaw to go down there, get his head right, come back and start dominating the way that he was, you know, the way the plan was set up for him. So, yeah, and PCA, yeah, you are getting that, you know, you're getting that power from the 8th spot, you know, in center field. But we talked to him as well Saturday after the 3-run bomb in the top of the 4th, and he's, you know, we were asking him about the power situation, and he said, man, I don't know what type of hitter I'm going to be. You know, at this point, the power has been it's been a positive for me. I don't know if I'm going to be a 25 to 30 home run a year guy, but for right now, it's working for me. But all I can continue to do is get better and better, keep my head down, and keep on working, putting in the work, and it's going to continue to pay off for me because I know how hard I work. So, again, PCA's power numbers are there. But the Cubs as a whole, like you said, Shawn, they've been able to win a bunch of different ways, hitting behind runners, stealing bases, hitting the long ball, getting pretty good starting pitching. The bullpen hasn't been that bad so far, but there have been, a few bullpen sightings that, may have a few Cubs fans worried about the bullpen. But just continue to ride the wave, man. Continue to ride the wave. They got 3 against the San Francisco Giants, another tough NL West team, starting today at Wrigley.
Damn, dog, how many times are you going to play the NL West in the beginning of the season? Like 7 times each?
Hey, get them out of there, man. You got 3/5 of the NL West out of the way already. You start with the Giants today. Again, you take 2 out of 3. You continue to stack those W's, man. But yeah, it is funny how they started that schedule out this year. But regardless, you were gonna have to play them. You were gonna have to play them the same amount of times wherever they ended up in the schedule. So, good job by the guys so far, and I'm looking forward to this San Francisco Giants series.
Cool. Last question before we let you go, man. And I always appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on. Dansby Swanson. He had a rough start to the season. Has he come out of that slump? Because this last 4 or 5 days, my man's been going to work. He's multi-hit games, knocked a couple out of the ballpark. Is he really going to? Do you think he's finally come out of his slump and now it's his turn to kind of step up and live up to that contract that he signed a couple of seasons ago?
Yeah, I think Dansby is one of those guys, man, that baseball, Shawn. It's simple as this, man. If you have a down month, you have a month where you slump, but then you have a good 2 weeks and you right back at it. You know what I'm saying? So
calendar turns and all of a sudden so does your luck.
Come on, man. So I think Dansby Swanson, he's another one of those guys. Just loves the game. You can see. You know what? Another thing, man. Dansby Swanson is so good defensively. He's so freaking good with the glove, man. That he makes some of the most difficult plays look so routine that I think people take it for granted. That double play ball at the I think it was in the 8th or the 9th Saturday. That was a crucial play in the game, and he made it look so easy. Like, yeah, that's just supposed to happen, and it's not. So I think the defensive side of the ball, yeah, we know about the offense. We know offense, offense wins ball games, and Dansby Swanson is one of those 3 guys tied for the team lead in home runs with 9. So his power numbers have been there. Average-wise, no. But again, I think he'll pick it up slowly but surely, and he'll come around. He'll end up hitting 260, 270. Maybe around 280, he'll have 20, 25 home runs, somewhere around 75, 80 RBIs. But defensively is where Dansby Swanson excels. And he hadn't made an error all year. I think his first error might have been Friday, and it wasn't even a fielding error. He dropped the throw from Michael Bush trying to turn a 3-6-3 double play. He just dropped the ball, mishandled the ball. But that was his first error of the year. So I think Dansby Swanson's defensive effort doesn't get the credit it deserves. But don't worry about him offensively, man. He's a guy, he's a World Series champion. He'll be able to tread the waters, and then when it's time, you'll see him come up out of the depths. And like I said, he'll be hitting 260, 270, maybe somewhere around 280, 20+ home runs, 70 to 80 RBIs, and probably another Gold Glove. So leave Dansby Swanson alone, Cubs fans.
Man, you guys got a couple jokers who might have some gold gloves, man. Him, Ian Happ's already won one. Now PCA keeps doing that. PCA is going to be in that conversation as well.
Man, Ian Happ got 3 Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
Like you said, Happ. You got PCA out there. Kyle Tucker ain't a slob out there in right field. You got Nico up the middle. You got Dansby up the middle. You got a few Gold Glovers out there, man. And I'm old school baseball, Shawn. We're old school baseball guys. Some of the rules still remain the same, bro. You win baseball games up the middle. And I think let's talk about the catchers. Let's talk about Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly holding it down. Probably the best.
Who the hell's Carson Kelly? Where the hell did he come from?
Come on, man.
Man. The hell's that all about? This dude's hitting homers, game-winning homers. Like, who is this guy?
Hey, man. Change of scenery works for some guys, man, and give Carson Kelly credit for coming in and putting the pressure on Miguel Amaya. I don't necessarily think this was a make or break year for Miguel Amaya, But it was time for him to show and prove, man. And I think with Carson Kelly coming in and being a viable candidate for that starting job, I think it's put the pressure on him, and it's brought the best out of both of them. So give those guys credit. And like I said, you win baseball games and championships up the middle with Dansby, Nico, PCA, and those two guys behind the dish. And then you get your starting pitching, get them in order. You bring Cade Horton up, see what he's got, and just continue to ride that wave, man. And
hey,
Gino,
there is 62, man. There is no luck in 162. So small sample size so far. The guys have done a great job. They've exceeded expectations, but we'll see how it pans out over 162.
Gino, great stuff as always, man. I really appreciate it. But do me a favor before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you always. Like I tell you, man, I'm a phone call or email away anytime you need me. You can find me on, actually, my Twitter has been hacked. My Twitter was hacked about 5 months ago, so I am no longer on there as of now at Stay Humble. Stay Humble is we're trying to work it, get it back on, but right now I'm not at Stay Humble right now. So just follow us at It's the Bigs on Twitter, on Instagram. Go to the website, www.thebigs.us. We got the website back up and running. It's cracking. We got Bears news from Herb Howard. We got Bulls news from Drew Stevens. We got Cubs and White Sox and high school baseball from me and my founder, Terrence Tomlin. So, or just Google the Bigs, man. We all over the place, man. It's been a good year. And, blessings to you, Shawn. Blessings to Maya. Blessings to everybody at Sports Zone Chicago. And hit us up anytime, man. It's always all love.
Man, I appreciate it, man. As always, like he says, if we don't look out for each other, who will? You know what I mean? So I appreciate you only being a phone call away anytime we need it, like you said. So good stuff, man. Have a great day, and I'm glad you pulled over. I don't want you in an accident, brother.
No doubt, man. Love, brother.
We'll talk soon, and your Cubs still suck. Hey, we won our second series of the season yesterday. Yes. Oh, man, that's my man Herb Howard. Herb Howard. Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs. And we're going to take a real quick break. Because on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little NBA playoffs. And we're going to, my man, it's 5 o'clock, It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Lucky Lefty himself, Damani Pugh, is going to join us. And then we're going to talk a little Bears toward the end of this conversation. We're going to start because the NBA playoffs yesterday were on for fire. Man, so don't go anywhere. Damani Pugh from the SmokeFellas is up next with your boy. Keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Or do you think about channeling not going in round one into your rookie season, or you just kind of put that behind you?
Pretty much behind me now, but it's always in the back of my head. That teams chose other people above me, so I'll see them. No, I mean, I was super happy. Felt in a great situation. Felt, blessed. So, I'm super excited to be a part of this organization, and I'm happy that they believe in me. So,
welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was a new wide receiver. Man, let me tell you something. Luther Burden, the third. He had, I kind of got not chills, but there was a very distinct tone in his voice where he's on one. He's pissed. He's pissed. He felt he was one of the best, if not the best receiver in the draft. And for him to get passed over like that, and it happens, listen, it happens to everybody. Things, the way the NFL draft goes, you never know how it's going to fall. But you got to remember, these are people that you're dealing with. They're not just commodities. They have feelings, and he was hurt. He was hurt. It seems like he's on a mission to prove that he's the best receiver out of this draft. And you know what? That is nothing but phenomenal news for the Bears, for Caleb, for the wide receiver room, all right, and for Bears Nation. So looking forward to seeing what because I've seen tons of his highlights and his film. That's a joker we haven't had in a minute. Guy who can get that ball, and a guy who's got a lot of wiggle. All right, stop and start. All right. He reminds me a lot of Tyreek Hill, the way he stops and starts and uses his speed to scare people. All right, scare people. That dude can go. And add that to, now we got a guy who take off the top. Yeah, a guy with a mission, with a chip on his shoulder, a couple chips on his shoulder. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. But, man, we're going to talk a little basketball, and then we'll talk a little Bears to finish up with my next guest. It's a good friend of the program because he's part of the program. He's on every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with the SmokeFellas. And he's it's 5 o'clock somewhere, man. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs because them games yesterday were good. Woo, Charlie. Man, you can find him on Twitter at Damani Pugh, P-U-G-H. All right, 96335. All right, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya. My man, Lucky Lefty, Damani Pugh. Lefty, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, man.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, man. Hey, how was how's the Derby and Fedoras party? It looked good.
Oh, man, it was great. Everybody looked good, man. It came out. Everybody showed out with the hats.
Thought it was a GQ photo shoot or something. Damn, dog.
Man, they did it up. They did it up, man. It's become one of my favorite events. One of the ones I look forward to, man, every year. So it was great time.
Dude, good stuff, man. Good stuff. The NBA playoffs yesterday were, man. Let's talk about let's talk game 7 in round 1. H-Town, the boys from H-Town held the Dubs, man. Steph Curry, unbelievable. Dude, first of all, let me ask you a question. Are you okay with the way they're calling the games? Because they're calling it a lot looser. No more ticky-tack fouls. All right, you're able to grab people, push people, hit people in the chest when they're going up for layups if you're blocking the ball. Whole bunch of stuff, very reminiscent of the way we grew up watching basketball in the 90s. Are you cool with it, or do you think there should be more of a happy medium?
No, as long as they call it on both ends, I'm okay with it. As long as it's not like favored towards one team, it seems to be they calling it pretty even. You're not seeing a huge free throw discrepancy so far. So, and I don't know if it's not lack of superstardom. I don't know what it is, but the physical play, let them get at it. Now, some of the Draymond stuff is a little, he goes overboard, which there's something we could probably talk about. We start talking about next round because he's like a tech away or a flagrant away from being suspended. So, yeah, but the physical play, letting them go at it. It is reminiscent of our days when you kind of let them, as long as you don't get out of hand.
Right.
Yeah. So no, let it keep going and call it all the way through. You know what I mean? Call it all the way through. I mean, you're gonna really get to see how tough the Steph Currys, Shea, SGA. You know, if they can take that pounding, man, I'm excited. Actually, a lot more excited than I thought. The games were a lot more better than I was kind of expecting.
Dude, Steph came through yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Steph came through, and man, they've been holding him, grabbing him, you know, hitting that arm as he follow through. They're hitting that right wrist. I mean, that right thumb, just trying to inflict pain, which I get. You come out there once you see someone's weakness, you go at it. All right, and I get it. You come out there, but he's Steph, and Steph. Would you think that was part of Steve Kerr and Steph's plan? Like yesterday, we ain't trying to get you off because we know what you can do, but let everybody else get off and let everybody else score. Because man, he had 8 points in the first half, something like that. He was facilitating. He didn't take a lot of shots. I mean, he was off, true, too, but he was really trying to get everybody else going and just draw the double team or triple team every time he had the ball. You think it was their idea to kind of get everybody else involved and then him take over in the fourth quarter like he did?
I'm not going to say it was part of the game plan. I think they kind of let it play out, you know, and Kerr is really good at that. Steph really is, I mean, if you even throughout the season, he hasn't started off hot every game. He's turning into that fourth quarter, the dagger. You know what I mean? Like
dude, that three was crazy.
Man, I mean, he could be 1 for 15 and then the fourth quarter run off like 20 straight points. It's just, you know, he's turning into that guy. I tell you, Shawn, I was never the biggest Steph Curry fan, but the more and more I watch him, I respect him more and more. And even how Houston tried to get physical and beat him up and everything, man, he's really showing that he deserves, you know, all this talk about him being one of the tops to ever do it. He's definitely earning that title. As far as yesterday, I think it was a plus that like Buddy Hield, which we haven't seen all season. We thought he forgot how to shoot, but this guy came out at the right time. I was expecting Jimmy to really be the guy yesterday, but Buddy Hield kind of set the standard. And then, you know, I think when Kerr looked at that and even Steph, he's learning as well, hey, you hot, you go ahead and get yours off.
Feed him.
Go ahead. Go, right. Keep shooting. Go ahead and keep eating, you know, and that's one thing about another thing about Steph is where I've seen the evolution. He's not worried about stats. You know, he eats up when he needs to, but if somebody hot, let him keep eating. Let him keep eating. And that's what I saw yesterday out of him. I had a great game.
Yeah, and it was. And I love the fact that he was, you know, Steph is just Steph. He's just calm, cool, collected, you know, through all the physical play, through the poor start to shooting. But there's more than one way to affect the outcome of a game. Yeah. And Steph was doing that. He was rebounding. He was playing defense. All right. You know, he a couple of times they had a fast break and he stopped the ball right where they had to pull it out. Things like that, stuff like that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it would have been an easy bucket. And that's 2, 4, 6, 8 points that stopped. And that's momentum that stopped. That could be, you know, the momentum starter for the Rockets. But man, he was on it. He stopped it, and I love his attitude, realizing there is more than one way to affect it, and he does. I just feel he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you in the fourth. Because there was nothing that I was saying that 1-3 half of the dagger. I think they put him up back 13 with.
Hey, the other thing too, Shawn, is they're not going to talk about it, not going to show in the highlights. Those 2 steals down the stretch, like back to back. He came down, hit a 3, then came back, got a steal, and then did it again on the very next defensive play.
Yeah,
you know, when they want defense, those things don't show up. And you know, unlike when they talk about these guards that, you know, defense wise, they target them and go at them. The one thing I can say about Steph, no, he's not the greatest defender, but the effort is always there with him. And, you know, I say 75-80% of defense is effort. You know, if you just
it's more than that, bro. You're right.
You
want effort, to or not.
Yeah, like when you talk about the Lucas and they were talking about Jalen Brunson earlier, you know, like how they target him. But a lot of it is just effort. They don't have a shot blocker back there. You know, they really don't have any. They don't have a lot of bigs back there. So he puts forth the effort, And it showed yesterday. It really showed yesterday.
It did, and man, that you're talking about the steal where he got it, and Jimmy's kind of got in front of the dude.
The I don't know why I want to say Caldwell, not Thompson. The kid that's supposed to be the man over there.
Yeah, yeah, and the dude just pushed him, and then they had to go through. But if you're right, that steal was perfect. Steph had it. He saw his back was turned. He goes, I can get it. He goes, I can get the I can poke the ball out. He did, and a breakaway, ended up being a breakaway foul. Just smart, high basketball IQ from Steph, and man, it was awesome. So now they're moving on. All right, they're playing the T-Wolves. Was this the second time a 6 and 7 seed are playing this late? Your thoughts on that? On them moving onto Minnesota? That game is tomorrow, starting in Minnesota.
Interesting. Ant-Man, aka the Legend Killer. He gets his chance to take down Steph and playoff Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting matchup. It goes to show how tight the West really was. And how tight the West really was. Like you said, 6 versus 7. Minnesota went from they were almost in the play-in, so they get a second round home court advantage series versus Golden State. My fear with Golden State is, remember they had to go through the play-in. They just went through a 7-game series, and now you're going up against a Minnesota team that I think is even more physical than Houston was. Julius Randle. With Julius Randle, the face of that whole thing with them when they did the trade with Cat, I was totally against. I thought it was a bad move, but in that Lakers series, it showed why you get a Julius Randle. That guy, I mean, he's reckless abandon. He's gonna go in. I want to see Draymond try to play with him, with the little slaps in the head and the hard fouls. Try to play with Julius Randle. It's gonna be a little something different with him. And the same with that man. That team just has a certain toughness to it. They definitely had a size with Gobert. Down there as well, with Naz Reid coming off the bench. Steph is turning Tom Brady-ish to where you don't want to bet against them. It's like, as long as they got Steph, they got a chance. But I really think that Minnesota has a huge advantage in this series. A huge advantage.
Yeah, I think that it just might be coming. I mean, Father Time's undefeated, man. And you just it's tough. Steph's 38. And it's tough to continue to do that at a high level for so long. And I wish them the best. I'd love for them to get at least to the, if they can somehow get to the finals, which I don't see, that'd be crazy. But I think they're done. The Golden State Warriors are done. It was a great run. All right. Yeah. You realize it's been almost 6 years. Yeah. 6 years, like 9 years since they really started getting into it, the back-to-backs and all that stuff. Dude, that's crazy. That is just insane how fast time flies, and so it I hope they can pull it off, but I just don't think so. Let's talk about game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think we're looking at the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
As we say, from the LeBrons, Durant's, and these guys, Steph, these guys, it's Ant-Man's time. It's SGA's time,
Mm-hmm.
We already know Joker, arguably the best player in the world right now, averaging a triple-double in the playoff in his first round series against the Clippers, and a very good Zubac. Was a good defensive center. Like that, you definitely seeing the change in the guard, especially in the West. So yeah, it's their time. Like along with Father Time, it's always the talk of how today's players are this, that, and other. But I'm telling you, this new batch coming in, it's gonna be something special to watch.
Yeah, let's talk about the other game yesterday. The Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers, number 1 seed in the East. We're at home, hosting the Indiana Pacers. Mr. Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton's dad, was not in the arena. he was banned from the rest of the Indiana home games. We'll talk about that in a second. But big upset. Indiana steals the home court advantage with a 121-112 victory in the land in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. What did you think of that game? How do you think that plays out after that? After Indiana stole the home court, can they go on? Can they go back there tomorrow and take Game 2?
I was actually surprised at how well Indiana matches up with Cleveland, even throughout the regular season. I really didn't know that Indiana gives them a lot of problems. And with Garland being injured, I don't know. Some of it could be, though, with Cleveland. Maybe this was a wake-up call because the Miami series was such a sleepwalk. When you beat a team by 50. Yep. And I'm with King Booker, the long layoffs always. But for some reason, we even after them going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, we all still just kind of sleep on Indiana.
Yeah.
We just don't really look at them. I don't think they get the respect that they deserve. They're well coached. Halliburton is surprisingly, he's a lot better than people give him credit for. He doesn't get the media attention and things like that, but he's been a killer. Siakam over there. I still think Cleveland gets the series. I think Cleveland wakes up. Like I say, the long layoff, and when you go through a playoff series like that Miami series, that was just absolutely horrible. I wish Miami would have just laid down and let our Bulls get in there to at least put forth some effort.
Yeah, huh?
You lose about 50 in an elimination game, man. Come on, man.
At home?
At home. Oh my God.
I was texting you guys. I'm like, man, they're down 50. They're down 55. They're down 60.
That's crazy. An elimination game in the playoffs. And so, I'll give Cleveland a little bit of pass, but we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. If Cleveland don't come out on fire, like playing like your season on the line, like this is a big game. You don't want to go down 2-0 and going into somebody else's home floor. So let's see what Cleveland's made of. I don't know how much adversity Cleveland's really been through this year, because they seem to they were the number 1 seed in the East like all the way through. Damn,
a long time, yeah.
All the way through. So here's a little adversity. Here's the test. Let's see what they made of. Let's see what they made. This is a team that you had problems with all year. It's a kind of not exactly a must-win game, but as close as you're gonna get to a must-win. Let's see what they got.
Yeah, and Tyrese Halliburton, 22 points, 13 dimes. Man, he looked good. That kid is young and super duper talented, man. And he's just, man, I really, really like that young man. Real quick, discuss the thing with his father. He went up to the Greek Freak talking ish, and what did you think of that whole situation? Are you okay with the ban of him from the Pacers games now?
Yeah, I think it was the right thing to do. It was definitely the right thing to do. I mean, what else could you really do? You can't punish the team, and you can't punish his son for what his father, for what his father did. It's going on with this trend of, man, F around and find out. People keep running up on these athletes. They can't sleep. You know what I mean? You better, you gotta understand, man. These guys, you could, just because you pay your money or think, just saying anything you want to these cats. I know you've been to plenty of games. I've been to plenty of games, and imagine the stuff that they don't hear that we hear up in the stands with people right behind the bench, and to run up on a big 6'10" dude that could pretty much just slap you from 10 feet away with them long arms, thinking it's sweet to talk crazy. He emotional. He just lost the city, and you kind of. And so I'm pretty sure it must have escalated. Something must have been said throughout the game, So that was probably the only thing they really could do. As long as it didn't get physical, it wasn't going to be a lifetime ban. But everybody not going to be, Giannis was kind of easily pulled away. But we know a guy that's podcasting our name, Vernon Maxwell, old Mad Max. Probably would have put his hands on them, you know what I mean? So be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. They're still human beings. I know they're athletes, they're millionaires or whatever, but you know, you emotional, you losing, you know, pretty much don't know what his future is holding. I don't know what Giannis was thinking at the time to even react, but yeah, they gotta somehow get control of it the best way they can. I know the NBA's been trying, banning fans and things like that, but yeah, it may take somebody getting hit in the mouth, Shawn. It may
I hoping it does, Lefty. I hope it does, because you know what? It'll stop a whole bunch of bullshit from that point forward. And you know what? You have every right to protect yourself. I mean, this is their job. You just can't go up to people's jobs and get in their face. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you forget. I know it's a basketball game. I know the pageantry, the women, the food, the alcohol, and everything. It's all there. But this is their job. They are at work. And for you to roll up on someone at work like that, I don't know you. I don't know you from Adam. I don't know what you want to do. It's not like we haven't seen crazy fans. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're someone's dad doesn't mean you ain't crazy. Doesn't mean that I fear for my life. Pop, pop. Here's a 2-piece. Get away from me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And, hey, listen, Tyrese, sorry, bro. I didn't know that was your dad or whatever, but I didn't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He just got a 2-piece. Tell him, don't run up on me like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, my bad, Papa. That was your dad and everything, but just don't do that. And it's going to take someone getting popped in the mouth, a quick 2-piece.
Yeah.
And, you know, because you know the Players Association is going to get involved. I know you need better security, because parents just can't keep running up there, and it's tough, man. It's just a bad situation, and parents just gotta, you know, and people, not just parents, but people just gotta realize these are athletes, like you said, man. And one of these days you're gonna get a 2-piece in the mouth, and it ain't gonna be nice.
Hey, anybody can get it, Shawn.
Anybody.
Grandfathers, grandmothers, it don't matter. Don't run up. Uncles,
best
cousins. Friends. Right, don't matter. Do not
cousins.
Anybody can get it anytime. You know how it is.
Yeah, it is. Well, we got some games tonight. Just talked about this one. Knicks and Celtics, game 1. That game's tonight, 6:00. Catch that game on TNT. Knicks are playing good basketball, but Boston, defending champ, Jalen Brunson, Chicagoland's very own. That dude is a dog. You're going up against the defending champions. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think the Knicks get 1, maybe 2. Boston is just all the way around, man. The depth, the guard play. Derek White's so underrated. You know, big body guard can. Mm-hmm. You know, he can stay in front of guys. He gives people problems. Then you got Jaylen Brown. They can throw a lot of bodies at Brunson. And let me say, Jalen Brunson, I'm surprised at how good he is.
Me too.
When New York gave him all that money, I said, what the Knicks are nicking again? Like, what are they doing? Just throwing away money. But this young man, he's really proven he's a superstar. He's a superstar. I think the problem is you're gonna have to try to hide him on defense. And Boston can attack you so many ways. There's so many ways they can attack you, man. So I just don't think New York has enough, and Tibbs is going to probably get blamed for running them in the ground. But just some matchups just are not in your favor. And Boston, it's not too many teams in the league that can match up with Boston. So I'm not giving the Knicks a shot at this at all.
Okay. Yeah, Boston, it seemed for some reason, I think Boston, you know, obviously Boston, Indiana is going to be, I think Boston, Cleveland is going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, and maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm the only one, I'm not afraid of Boston. Like, I don't like, oh yeah, I'm not I don't automatically put them in that category. Like, oh hell yeah, Boston, they're there. I think they're extremely talented, but there's something about them. Like, I don't know if it's that. I can't say they didn't win the big one. They're defending champs, but there's still something about them. Like,
I agree. It's something missing with them.
Yes,
it doesn't make them likable unless you're just a Celtics fanatic, you know. But there's something about that team. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a weird looking coach or what. I mean, that guy looks so weird to me. His hair never cut. He just look crazy to me. But I don't know what it is. And it just seems, and you know, Boston just steadily just doing their thing, defending champs. And how does defending champs fly under the radar? You know, probably because of all of the other big NBA stories. But you know what? They haven't really been in the news at all. They just kind of slid through the season, you know, and hey, Go ahead and talk about LeBron and Luka and what's going on in the West and Cleveland, and they just continue to do what they do.
Yeah, they do, and it makes it, and that's probably the best thing that could have happened to them or for them, because now you're right. There's no talk of the repeats and everything else. There's just so many other storylines going on, and it just made it easier for them to fly under the radar and do what they do. I mean, remember, there are a lot of great coaches. Remember, Bobby Knight was one of those guys who would always, around tournament time, he would do something to kind of it would annoy the hell out of people or shock people, but it would take all the pressure off his team. Yep. And everyone's talking about Bobby Knight, and not talking about Indiana basketball. And you know what I mean? And whether it's, with the thing with Calbert Chaney or something, whatever, it always took the focus on. And there are more than enough storylines this year in the NBA to go around to kind of take it off of Boston. And that's probably the best thing for them. They didn't have to live up to the hype. They didn't have to live up to the talk about, are you going to repeat? Nothing. And they just, you said it. They went about their business, kept their head down, shut their mouth. Wasn't pretty. They just won.
That's road record in the league, like by ridiculous amount. Like their road record is ridiculous,
and that's crazy. And that's a sign of a champion. Like when you're on the road, when you travel, everybody's on board, same page. We're all rolling the same way, and to have that type of focus on the road. I used to like road games when I played, because now we're all together, and because I don't know how it is for basketball. Because I know for football, even home games they put you up. Even home games, we stayed at a hotel, and even the Bears, they stay downtown. I know the hotel they stay downtown at, because they don't want any problems with you trying to get in from Lake Forest or from the North Shore, and everybody stays there. But I don't know how it is for basketball as far as home games, because there's just so many. You know what I mean? But on the road, you're focused, you're all together. You're on one mission, and that's hats off to them.
You kind of had that, us against the world. Even the same in basketball, though. With basketball and football, it's that it's us against the world. And sometimes it's some guys really, really energize off messing with the hometown. When you're the visitor, pissing off the home fans. Some guys really feed off that.
Yes, they love being a villain. They love being the asshole that everybody hates, and then the boos for them and all the cussing at them, that fires them up, and people enjoy that.
Yep.
Whenever works. And in the West, the other semifinal game in the West is the Nuggets at the Thunder. I think it's going to be a good one. Nuggets are defending, a champ from a couple years ago. OKC Thunder, man, they got a squad, man. They got a squad. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh, man, this is a tough call, because everybody kind of counted Denver out after firing Malone and thinking, they didn't have the type of season everyone was expecting from them. But even still, Joker was still in it. Well, they haven't announced MVP yet. Everybody thinks SGA pretty much has it locked down.
Yeah. But
this is something. This series is very interesting. I'll be tuned into that game more than the Boston New York series. That kind of looking at that Memphis OKC series was a little boring, even though you had Ja Morant. But I did notice SGA averaged 32 in the season, playoffs 27. And that 27, kind of some of those were stat stuffers. We were actually all in the group text talking about it. That game, they were up 20, and he had a poor game. He only had like 18, 20 points. He kept shooting. They were blowing him out. It was the fourth quarter. We wondered why they didn't pull him. But he kept shooting, ended up getting his points up to like 28. So I'm wondering how it's going to be interesting to see how Denver plays them. Denver can give them problems, but I think OKC is so deep.
Yeah,
they are so deep. Jamal Murray is going to be big, though. Joker can't do it by himself. Like, we need to see that Jamal Murray, the Laker killer, over the last few years in the playoffs. If that guy shows up, OKC's gonna have a problem. And Denver's battle tested. They just 1 year removed from a championship. They battle tested. Of course, you got the wild card, Mad Russ over there in Denver. It's just it's still an Energizer bunny. As much as he, he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's gonna do. If he's gonna throw the ball in the stands or if he's gonna dunk it, or you don't know what is gonna happen with him. But the energy he brings is something. I wouldn't trust him in the fourth quarter, but throughout the game, it just feels like they never out of it. He's just he's a Man, he's a bolt of lightning out there.
Yeah, and it didn't get hot. He can get hot and get on a run as well, and that's the scary part is that he's good. You know, so that's going to be one hell of a series, and I'm looking forward. I like the fact that they're playing more physical because I would love, I like your athleticism could be negated or nullified with me being physical. I'll give you a forearm. I'll give I'll kind of give you a hip check, something like that. Or hell, they're not even doing that. They're just hugging. They're hugging like stuff. Just hugging them like you see Steph knocking people's hands down the whole time. Like, damn, dude.
And that's something Memphis didn't do to OKC, but Denver's gonna do it. Like Denver's going. You got Aaron Gordon, those guys in there. They're going. It's going to be a little more physical. I want to see if they can really handle it. I know they got Hartenstein over there from New York. They got some bodies they can throw at Joker. No one that can stop Joker, but bodies they can throw at him. Chet just too light. Chet,
oh my God,
it's too light. He can't. He can't do nothing with Joker. But let's see if they can. If Aaron Gordon and some of these guys can kind of get them rattled, Russ, like we were just talking about, a couple of sharp elbows and let it get a little rough down there. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, so the rest of this playoff season, postseason is going to be real fun and exciting. Let's switch gears, man. Let's talk, because you and I love talking Bears, man. You and I love talking Bears football. We haven't talked in a minute, bro. We haven't talked in a minute. So give me your thoughts, man. On the draft, how happy are you with the Bears draft picks that they got? Their first guy. This guy was Colston Loveland. It was a shock to many people. Many people thought Tyler Warren was the best tight end. Your thoughts on Colston Loveland as the Bears' first pick this year, round 1, pick 10?
Initially, my view, even the entire draft, it wasn't, as I would call, sexy, right? It wasn't the big names that everyone was expecting. You talked about Luther Burton. Well, people are saying that's the best pick. Some people are saying that's the best pick in the draft. Like they're really excited about it. But as far as Colston Loveland, I think everybody's just a little kind of pulled back from him because you really didn't get to see what he's capable of doing in Michigan because of their style of play. Right. They don't have a strong quarterback. That they don't rely on passing too much. But looking at his measurables, I didn't realize he's bigger than Tyler Warren. I didn't even really realize that.
Is he 6'6", 6'7", something like that?
Yeah. I think his wingspan or his catch rate or something is bigger than Warren's. Like, but you don't get to see that. You didn't get to see that at Michigan. When Harbaugh was there, how Harbaugh was hit you in the mouth, run the ball. This past season, Michigan's quarterback situation wasn't the best, so they weren't throwing the ball a lot. So this could be that guy, that comes in, and from what listening to coaches that had to coach against him and prepare for him, they say the young man's a dog. He's a dog, and he's a matchup nightmare. They pretty much say he's a big ass receiver that's willing to block, but linebackers, and they saying linebackers and safeties gonna have a hard time matching up with him, and with Ben Johnson. What history has told us so far, is that he can expose mismatches, and if he can, and this seems to be a weapon that he could use to create mismatches, and he's gonna expose it. So excited to see where it goes. I know he's just coming off the shoulder injury, but they're saying he's gonna be fine. But yeah, like I said, it's not it wasn't the sexiest pick. It wasn't, he wasn't one of the guys that they were talking about, the Tyler Warrens, right. Gentis. He wasn't one of these guys. Actually, I heard one guy from one show was talking about it. This was weeks before the draft, was talking about, no, the Bears are going to go after this kid. And, it was like, oh, what is he talking about? Ain't nobody ever heard of this young man from Michigan. And then even after the draft, they were saying there were teams that were about to trade up. If Loveland would have failed, they were ready to trade up to come get him. So, hey, I got to go with the guys who get paid for it. If they see something that's special in the young man, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and he was a guy that, if Ben Johnson is the guy that you want to create the offense, to give him the players he wants. I think he knows better than anybody the type of talent that is going to flourish in his offense. So I was like you, I was very underwhelmed, and then I started thinking about it. Like, man, if he's going to cook dinner, let him get the groceries, because that is completely a Ben Johnson pick, and I love it. I love it. And then remember when he was at Michigan last, you mentioned it a moment ago. The quarterback situation sucked. 2 years ago, he won a national championship. He had more in his national championship season as far as stats than Tyler Warren had his first 3 years at Penn State in that 1 year. All right, more yards, more touchdowns, because he had a quarterback. He had JJ. All right, this goes to show you how important it is. Now he's going to have another good quarterback, and hopefully he does well. So, I like it. I've watched him. He the thing I see he is smooth. His routes are smooth. The one thing that I really see that I love about him is he's got a great feel. Like whenever there's a zone coverage, he knows how to find a zone and sit in it very Travis Kelce-like. And that's going to be huge for Caleb. When you got a guy who can find the soft spot in the zone, second nature, and you just hit him, you look for him, and just move the chains. That's all we need to do. I don't need a 35, 40, 50, 80-yard touch. Just move the chains. Move the chains, and that's what this guy does.
Hey, and he definitely fits the Ben Johnson no block, no rock thing. Because if like we were talking about with defense and basketball, blocking a lot of times is effort.
Yeah,
it's effort, and watching him, especially if you're playing for Jim Harbaugh, you better be putting some effort into blocking. So I think this young man is a good fit. He should be a good fit.
Yeah, he should. The second round pick was the guy I think it's kind of threw them off because he was still there. I think is where they're going to take a running back, but Luther. It reminded me of 48 Hours. Luther, are you angry with me? Luther Burden, the third. Man, this dude got some go. What do you want, like a 4.38, something like that?
Yeah.
About 6 foot, 205. A Deebo Samuels type guy with wiggle. Give me your thoughts on this guy and what he can do for this offense.
I tell you, Shawn, I was like most, was kind of blown up. They didn't go after a running back, and I was like, "Who is this young man?" We don't get to see a lot of Missouri football up here,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But after they drafted him, and everybody kept talking about him, man. Of course, that's why we got YouTube. I went on there and pulled up some of this young man's highlights, and I got a little excited. I'm telling you, I got a little excited. Everything you said is spot on, man. Like what he can do with the ball. The yards after catch, you can line them up in from the backfield to the slot, to the X, to the Y. Like you can put this young man everywhere. Almost making me think in another year or so, DJ Moore may be expendable. It could be. He has the size, definitely has the heart, and everybody says the first. They had first round grade on him, and now we know why Antoine Randall was so excited. If anybody watched the draft, he almost knocked Ben Johnson or Ryan Poe's head off before they called the pick in. Like it got to be a receiver, but everyone's truly excited. Like I said, he's being called a lot of people have him ranked as the best pick in the draft. Him being there at 39, and after watching the highlights, I can see it. I won't go as far as saying like Devin Hester with the ball in his hands. What Devin can do with it. But he's Deebo Samuel. I would say maybe better. I would say better. You on mute, Shawn?
Sorry, he's Deebo with speed is what they call him.
Yeah.
And the thing that Ben talked about his ability to stop and start so quickly, and someone with that size, because guys who stop and start are like just Deshaun Jackson, Shady McCoy. You know what I mean? They're smaller guys, 170, 180, can stop and start a dime and get back up to top speed in 3 steps. This dude's 200 pounds. And he's able to do that same stuff. And you said you wouldn't watch the highlights. You saw them highlights. He got a guy chasing him, stop, turn, go the other way, leave him in a cloud of dust, and gone. I'm gone. That he also led the FBS in yards after catch, and that's what everyone talks about is Yak. And think of the things that's how much of a benefit that's going to be to Caleb. Just get him the ball. His yak is going to be awesome. And then his speed, you're going to have a lot of people chasing him. So I love the pick. I think, again, that's where they would have wanted to get a running back. But, he fell to them. So they're like, we got to take our, and they talked about it. Ryan Poles did, staying strict to our board, discipline to our board. If this guy was up there, you talked about not non-sexy picks. All right. The thing is, the thing that they did, they didn't get the sexy picks. They got the people that fit their systems perfectly. And sometimes those are the better picks than the big names that everyone's talking about. If this guy fits your system perfectly, well, then that's just as good. It's better than getting the big name because this guy's going to flourish in your system. This next one is one I want to get your thought on this because this dude, let me get your thought on this. Shamar Turner, defensive lineman, Texas A&M. He was a defensive end. He was a monster. Then they asked him to gain a little weight, get a little fat, and move inside. He was a monster inside. All right. We're not sure exactly what they're going to do with him. Are they going to ask him to lose weight? And then maybe that might not happen this year. It might happen next year. Hey, you play inside this year, and then next year, if Aaron Booker doesn't and Obey or Bango don't really don't work out, you lose some weight and go back to the edge. Give me your thoughts on Shamar Turner, kid out of Texas A&M.
First thing that come to mind is nasty.
Yes.
Nasty. Ooh, nasty.
Dude, that got the hair on my arms to stand up.
Man, nasty. There's another one. Like you say, with these not being the sexy picks, you have to kind of go to YouTube and kind of check out these guys' highlights and kind of do your own little scouting report on them and seeing the strengths and weaknesses. But, oh, my goodness. Like this guy is a dog. Like this young man is going to get after it. And having a mentor like Grady Jarrett there, that's going to be huge for him, man. Like let's see how coachable he is. But like you said, if he was willing to put on weight, to move inside, he seems like someone that's coachable, is willing that wants to get better. But he definitely has the physicality and he has the mental. Like he's nasty. And with him, Javon Dexter, Grady Jarrett, Big Billings back, that could be a mean rotation in there. And then Dennis Allen, his defenses, he believes in pressure up the middle, even more than the edge. He likes to collapse that pocket, and this young man can do it.
Yeah, he got me excited when they got him. And you took the words right out of my mouth. His by Grady Jarrett. This guy, Grady Jarrett, reminded me of a John Randall, the dude who just monsters power, a little undersized, but just had a motor that would not stop.
Yeah.
And that to me, that was Grady Jarrett, his whole tenure in Atlanta. And then you got a young guy like this. I like the fact that he punched a dude in the balls. All right.
Yeah.
Give me a jerk like that. Because I'd rather have to reel someone in than try and hype somebody up. You know what I mean? Like, he plays with an edge. He plays with an attitude. We haven't had that kind of jackbag on our defensive line. And man, I really can't remember when. You know what I mean? I can't remember when. We didn't have that type of attitude, that type of dude who will punch you in the mouth or punch you in the nuts if you get the best of him a couple times. We haven't had that. I think that attitude, being mentored and guided by Grady Jarrett, is going to be really, really helpful. And it's gonna take Javon Dexter's game to another level because you got to step up. Now they got a guy, he might be playing your spot.
Right.
He might be taking reps to you. So guess what? You're gonna have to get gritty. You're gonna have to get grimy now. And I love it. If Javon Dexter gets grimy,
whew, man. Yeah. It's taking a page out of Philly's playbook. With having a rotating D line, keeping those fresh bodies in there, keeping constant pressure, just dominating up front. It's another piece in fixing what everyone knew was one of the biggest issues with the Bears, with the trenches. And to get a guy like this, offense and defense, we know what they did in free agency on offense, but to add him to add this young man to the mix, I think is a good move, exciting move, especially with like we said, with Grady Jarrett. He kind of seems like a younger version of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what better way to stretch transition? We don't know how many more years Grady Jarrett has to play. And that's the other thing too. You're looking at they can contribute now and the future.
Yeah.
You know, like he may be rotational now, but in a year or two, you know, he's a starter and ready to go.
And you can get the best out of Jarrett because he's not playing. He's not going to have to play every down. You know what I mean? You got guys coming over, and maybe you put these guys in first and second down, and Grady Jarrett, all right, I need you on third. Or for sure passing downs in second and 8, second and 12, second and 15. Like I bet now you throw him in, and it you know, it saves him, extends his career. I think Grady Jarrett's got 2 more good years left. One really good year, one good year, and then after that, it's kind of like is what I think for him. And if that's the case, they could again. We talked about the mentorship between him and these guys for more than one season. Whew. Yeah. Teach them how to be professional. Teach them how to go about their business, how to eat, how to, you know, all these things, you know, and getting these youngsters adapted to this next level of football, you know, so they can maximize their potential. And let's keep it real, maximize their earning potential. Because you play well, man, the checkbook's going to open. I need Bears, but somebody's going to give you that money.
Exactly. And I'm going to stay like Jarrett's already like working out with those guys. With the younger guys, right? So that means he's a guy that's accepted that role, is embracing that role of being a mentor, and that's what's needed. Leadership, man. We saw the mess last year. You saw the mess last year. I mean, this guy. Woo, I mean, to hear that he's already got these guys down there working out with him and getting these guys ready. It was a great sign. It's good to hear.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Overall, what do you give the Bears draft grade for the draft this year?
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. I like the fact that even though everybody was kind of stuck on like positions, you know, you're on the show with us, and I always say, hey, draft talent. You know, you fix holes in free agency, you draft talent, and it looks like that's what they did. They stuck with their draft board. They didn't panic when guys came off before. You know, of course, we heard they wanted to running back from Ohio State. You know, they didn't panic when he came off because they could have just panicked and grabbed Scatterboo or Caleb from Iowa, you know, just to fill a position. They stuck with their board. And so for that reason alone, and then going back and looking at some of these guys, looking at their tape, I'm going to give them a B. Hopefully turn to an A after a year or two. Look back at this draft.
So what do you give? And there's one last question I want to ask you. This guy this is the running back that they chose. Okay. He was a small guy, but man, he was really, really, really he was first team all Big Ten. As Kyle Manon guy. He led the Big Ten in rushing last season in 23. First team all Big Ten in 24. What do you like this guy? Give me your thoughts on this young man, because I'll tell you what, the one thing I can tell you, that Mother Hubbard does not have a problem with pass protection. Not a problem at all.
And you know what, Shawn, I saw that. I actually put up a video in our Humidor Sports Talk group on Facebook. Many of you guys, you can always join the page of him. Oh my God, like taking out blitzing linebackers. Woo! I mean, he wasn't just getting in their way. He was putting them on their ass.
Decleating them, yes.
I mean, putting them on their ass and looking at, and he runs with that same energy, that nastiness. That, you know, so a lot of someone compared him to David Montgomery. You know, David Montgomery. I always look at, when it comes to college running backs, I always look at, you know, the yards after contact.
Mm-hmm.
That he has that. I mean, even in looking at it, he was second in the Big Ten in rushing. Was he second?
This year, yeah.
Yeah, second in Big Ten in rushing. To get him in round 7, you know, you go back and look at, you know, everything he's accomplished and his style of play. It's shocking that he fell all the way down to the 7th round. So, and you know, look, when it comes to these later round guys, that's when coaching comes in. That's when player development, which is something I don't think the Bears have had in years. A coach that can develop players. I don't think they always pick the wrong guys. I don't think they had the staff to develop these guys. Hopefully you got the staff, which we talk about the staff all the time. I'm impressed with the staff that can develop a young man like this, you know. And
he's
so
going to one hell of a position coach, man. He's going to Eric Bieniemy. He asked no quarter, give no quarter. That dude's going to challenge you.
Exactly. And this is what you need with these later round picks. There was all talking about the guard from Michigan State. He's another one that people kind of say was nice that he was there as late as he was. Luke Newman, yeah.
Went to Holy Cross first before he ended up at Michigan State. Yep.
Yeah, and so you get guys like this, man. You look up and they turn into all pros. If nothing else, very serviceable starters or rotation guys. Not just everybody. We get stuck on the first round because that's all the hype. That's what all the media coverage is about, the first round. These picks like this determine your draft in the future. When you look back at a draft, you say it's those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round guys that have flourished into starters or Pro Bowlers. Like, that's what makes great drafts.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I gave it a B as well. I really would have liked them to adjust the safety position, but what they got, I'm happy as a pig in slop, and I think they're going to do very, very well this season. Hey, Luck, I appreciate it. Great stuff, my man. Thank you for taking time out this morning. But do me a favor before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Oh man, you can catch me on Instagram, Lefty Luciano. Look me up, man. It's just we always got some great content up. Like I mentioned earlier, our Facebook group, Humidor Sports Chat, and of course, you can catch us every Saturday morning, Humidor Sports and Cigars, right here on Sports Zone Chicago, man. It's always a great time. Entertaining, man. The jokes. And for all if you want some cigar pointers, we got you. We got you.
Hey, Lucky, man. Great stuff, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, Shawn.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.
Guys, that's Lucky Lefty, Damani Pugh from the SmokeFellas talking NBA playoffs and Bears football with me. Man, I appreciate his time this morning. Hey, listen, 2 hours is coming and going. I want to thank my guests. All right. Today, it was awesome. Eugene McIntosh from the Bigs for coming on and talking Cubs baseball with me, and Damani Pugh talking NBA playoffs and getting some Bears talk in. But before we go, again, I do want to wish everyone a happy Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be a good day today. Get some tacos, get some tequila. Have a good day. From Sports Zone Chicago. Guys, have a happy Cinco de Mayo. All right. But, man, I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up the warden. She was in CrossFit. And I don't know if you guys heard her. Sometimes she always yells, I'm going. That's why I get her lift. But I got to go pick her up from CrossFit. And, guys, I hope you have a phenomenal week. All right. I hope you have a phenomenal week. Here's Science, my podcast. I don't have one grade above B+ for this draft. Hey, that's fine. B's and B+ are good. You get a lot of those. You're going to do something. All right? You're going to do something. Especially if the development and the coaching that we're anticipating happens, it can do something. All right? Thank you very much. To stay healthy, Shawn, you and your family. Yeah, I got coming out with a little cough. You probably saw a couple times. I muted myself. I was coughing. But I'll get through it. But anyway, listen, we'll repeat this tonight at 6. And at 12:15, Sydney and Lakina. Second City Sports will take you another 2 hours of Chicago sports talk. But, guys, have a phenomenal day. Do yourself a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them. Reach out to them. Talk to them. Text, voicemail, voice memo, whatever. All right? You'll be happy you did. All right? So, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I will see you on Wednesday. Your boy is out.